everyone, my name is Deb Mullenhoff, and I work out of the President's Office doing community relations for the college. Welcome to Tompkins Cortland Community College and our fall 2020 semester.
Deb, thank you for welcoming us to Tompkins Cortland Community College. Since COVID, how has the college made changes so that students can come back and faculty staff can come back and of course be safe?
Right, so one of my main roles has been doing all the coordination with SUNY and the local health department and our local elected officials and all the different experts around what we need to do in order to bring higher education back and bring it back safely. So what I've been working on is all of the mandates out of Albany, and the governor had a number of different requirements. We had to submit a plan, and really writing that plan and getting that through the approval process through Albany. And then we did our own internal policies document where we took a look at all of our offices and our spaces and our furniture and what should the library look like in our new normal and what can our cafeteria and our food pantry and other spaces look like. So really my primarily role has been making sure that we have protocols and procedures in place to make sure everybody is safe, yet we know that sometimes in-person is going to be a crucial part of that education for everyone, so we wanted to make sure we were maintaining what we could for in-person services and programs and classes on our campus.
Awesome. Now, who went through testing, and was there quarantining on campus, or tell us about those processes?
Yes, so we have students living in our residence halls on campus, and testing was mandatory for them. So we've had a staggered move-in process. So some of our students moved in last weekend, some of our students are moving in this weekend, and all of them were required to be testing if they're living in the residence halls. We do not have a large population of students that come from out of state. We only had 2, and they were quarantined per the regulations for out-of-state travel. So that has already occurred. And everybody that's coming in today is right from New York State, from various parts of the state. We have Hugo Medical Center on site doing testing, and they go through and they're tested, and then we're providing them with enough meals to last until tomorrow morning, so they will hang out in their rooms until their test results come in the morning.
Great. Is there any message that you might want to have for the community or for any faculty, staff, students, anything?
Sure, we're just, really trying to demonstrate as much empathy and flexibility as we can, knowing that there's probably a lot of extra anxiety out there, right? So that's already stressful having to operate not only with the pandemic, but all of the other community issues that we're all wrestling with today. So we're just trying to make sure that we still remain rooted and connected to our communities that we are serving. We are a good place for people to restart or reset. You can still enroll for our fall semester. We still have a lot of options. We also have some late start options we'll be pushing out as well. So if you are in a holding pattern with other things, or maybe you're having issues with an unemployment situation, we could be a solution for you. So we want the community to know that we're here and we're flexible and we're really committed to helping our entire community get through this together.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for coming out.
We wish you the best this semester.
Great, thank you.
Now we're here with Vice President of Student Affairs, Greg McCauley. Greg, what new things have came to TC3 since, COVID?
Sure. Thanks, Tim. Things are different for us, very different for both the people working here and for our students. I think the first and most important thing we've done is, as we've looked to the fall, we wanted to create as safe as environment as possible for our students, but also in student affairs, our role is to be supportive of students and help them to succeed in school. So we've had to look at ways that we can do that a little bit differently. From our move-in, which is happening today and last weekend, all students who are living on campus are required to be tested, and they can live on campus provided that they do have a negative test. So far in our first 2 weeks of testing, we've had all negative tests, so we're pretty happy about that. Today is our final day of testing. When they move into the rooms, in the past we have 4-bedroom suites, now they're 2-bedroom suites, so there'll be a distance a little bit more. And we continue to meet with those students and make sure they understand the importance of maintaining that negative status and the ways to do that. Once students are here, student life always has a lot of activities for them. We're kind of doing a combination of in-person and online through Zoom and Teams and that type of thing. So This weekend we'll be having, we call it a drive-in movie, but no one's driving in. They'll be walking in and watching a movie on campus. And most of our activities will continue to be online for the students. We have a new platform campus programming, student programming that students will work through and do all their activities that way. And that's kind of reflected in a lot of our activities on campus. Our mental health services will be a combination of online and in person, just to meet the needs of the student. Health services will be the same way. We've just really had to adapt to this new situation, but at the same time, keeping in mind we need to meet the needs of our students. We're standing in the cafeteria. Cafeteria will no longer be self-service. Everything will be boxed and ready to go for students, but we will still have all the same food station, the hamburger, the salads, the daily special. They can go to the deli and custom have a sandwich made for them. So still giving them variety, but in a safer environment.
What kind of things have been done for maybe like testing, let's say, for faculty staff?
Faculty staff, it was voluntary as well as for students, but we've had close to 200 faculty and staff go through and do the testing. So I think the people working here have also taken it seriously, and kind of the same results we've had, all negative so far. So hopefully we can maintain that.
Hi, my name is Seth Thompson, and welcome to the Office of Diversity Education and Support Services. So we have a program on campus for first-year students, and it's called the Vector Network. And those students have an opportunity to get wraparound support from a number of the professionals out of the area of ODS, also known as the Office of Diversity Education and Support Services. And we pair those students, those first-year students, up with returning students that have had great success here academically and through their leadership development. And so generally the students that participate end up having higher GPAs and end up having more success in their second year. The other thing that the Office of Diversity Education and Support provides to students is opportunities to engage in learning about other people and learning about diversity, equity, and inclusion and justice. And those are not only concepts, but those are things that will help you become a better professional or within your career field as you leave TC3. And so we try to provide that here for you now for your future.
We're here today with Provost Reifenheiser. Provost, tell me about the changes that have happened in the classrooms.
We've made a lot of changes. So this is an example of a space that we wouldn't normally use for classrooms. This was normally a conference room, but we've retrofitted it out to space out the desks. We're also setting up lecture and audience capture equipment so that students will be able to take part in some courses. A student could be face-to-face, but students remotely will be able to see what's happening in the classroom and take part in the classroom, because we'll have microphones set up and the instructor will have a microphone pinned to them. And so that we'll be able to offer, in some cases, the opportunity for students to either come to class or not come to class, but still be a part of what's going on. And that's actually something, that's called a high flex type of environment. Okay. And that's something we're gonna do for about 15 classrooms this semester. And that's also all we're using. We're using about 15 classrooms. And we have many more than that, but they just weren't big enough to deal with social distancing. So we took our largest spaces and spread out the desks as best we could, and now we're going back in and retrofitting them with some better and upgraded equipment to be able to take part in that high flex system.
Now, off of what you said, you're using 15 rooms. Will there have to be any time delay or anything additional for cleaning in between classes, or how does that work?
So we did set it up so that in some cases, some of the courses are a little bit shorter than they normally would have been, at least for the face-to-face portion of it. And then we do have a system where someone can come in and they can disinfect a room very quickly. It only takes a few minutes to get in and basically sort of quasi-fog a room and then leave. And so we have spaced it out so that we will have cleanings in between all the classes.
Amazing. So what are the different ways, like all the different ways besides in person and online, that a student can learn? Just for those that might be watching that are curious, and those maybe interested in possibly taking classes themselves.
Yeah. So there's basically 6 different ways that a student could take a class this semester.
Okay.
In a normal semester, there's 3 different ways. So I'll start with those. So way number 1 would be, hey, I'm in a class, the traditional face-to-face class. Everybody knows what that is.
Correct.
Way number 2 is I take my course completely online, and that is something called asynchronous. And that means there is no meeting time. It's that you log into a website and you have to do your assignments, and you may interact with some other students in some ways through chat rooms, but it's all in the online environment. And then there's something that we would have called a blend, which is where you blend those 2 together. So you meet for 1 day, for example, instead of 2, or half of the meeting time, and then the rest of the work is pushed into that online environment.
Okay.
So that's how we used to offer courses. Now we've added in the video portion of it, so the video lecture, or the meetings, so the synchronous meetings like through Zoom, or what we're using is Microsoft Teams. So that video conference platform now adds into each of those. So now we have circumstances where some classes will be only through the video conference. That's a 4th type of teaching. And then there will be some where they'll meet, one class will meet face-to-face, and then another class will meet on the video conference. So 1 session on face-to-face, 1 session in the video. And then there's another option where you would have the video conference, and then you also would add in the ability to push some of the work into the online environment. And all that adds up to 6 different types of modalities. And we did this in no small part because what we wanted to do was reduce the number of people who would be coming to the campus. We're having face-to-face courses because a lot of students need it. And our campus is a good place for a lot of our students to get resources, to get help that they need. Honestly, sometimes we just have better Wi-Fi than where they live. And so this is a good place for a lot of people, so we felt it imperative for equity that we make our campus available. But we didn't just want to invite everybody in. We wanted to be able to limit how many people we have. So we've reduced the number of face-to-face class sessions while still making sure that there are some face-to-face.
What I'm looking forward to see how residents and faculty members adjust to this new style of working and learning, because everything has changed. So I'm looking forward to see how people work around that.
So definitely, I feel like especially with COVID and social distancing, mental health is definitely going to be a big issue, the depression and everything. So my goal for me as an RA for Tompkins Cortland Hall on TC3 is definitely to like try to be not socially connected, but try to be connected with my residents more, like even if it's virtual or whatever. Hey, can you meet me here, and we 6 feet apart or something. Definitely just staying more connected, making sure that they're fine, because being away from people definitely can take a toll on you. So I know it has taken a toll on me. But I know I was like, even if it's just me reaching out to them once a week, 2 times a week, just having them know that I'm here and I care. Like, I care about their well-being.
Make smart choices, do the right thing, and you know.